just to make sure he gets the words correct, like leafing through every time he needs to find one.
Did they say attack? I'm pretty sure they said attack.
Yeah, I guess so. It looks like they're all pressing W, so I'd assume yes. Well, it does look like LH Cloud is going to be hopefully pressing W on that Reinhardt, although Team Gigantti over on the blue, 1 point over on the red. Glad they matched the colours up this time. It's kind of nice.
Oh, yeah.
Always a good thing.
1 point, staking their claim on the red colour to see if they can soak the kill feed in red as well. But Team Gigantti, they're going to be very hard to dislodge in any case, because of course they're going for that 3-3 composition, which we've seen so much on here. And it looks like we may well have a battle in the back room, but no, Team Gigantti actually took a more risky approach and went over the bridge. They could have been knocked off, but no one on 1 point to do the knocking.
Not mirror compositions like you just mentioned. Davin just running straight in there. Oh, would you look at that? He's already 80% charged, and now he could just right-click for another grab. That'll be beautiful. Boostney is going to move in. He's going to have to be very, very careful. So much healing on both sides. No one going down just yet or falling rather low. It's all going to be about the Zyas building up that Graviton surge fairly quickly. Although another shatter, the first shatter even of the game, coming down and laying down by Mozasa. Just comes straight up. LH Cloudy beaten to the punch this time around, although he does have his ultimate for the next push. Rather decisive. It's all about those grabs. It's all about those shatters, especially early on. Too much healing normally to survive it.
And it was highlighted by the desk. Mozasa is the veteran here. He is the general, and he really showed his troops on the front line just how fierce he can be right there, building up an Earth Shatter slightly more quickly than Cloudy, which is no mean feat when you're talking about very scary Reinhardt. He's already building up to yet another. Frost is a little bit ahead on the Graviton surge as well.
There's the rally, there's the speed boost as well. They're going to amp it up straight in. Davin's got 75% of ult charge as well. He's going to go back on the back line, but someone's got their ult charge a bit quicker, and that is Frost. Mozasa lays down another shatter, and the shield gets deleted, and so does Ripper as the self-destruct is going to take him off the face of the planet. And Davin just going for a quick reset. 2 fights won already, 40% now in the bank for 1 point.
Imagine the grins on their faces right now. Fat still has that sound barrier in the bank to use, but look at 1 point's ultimate percentage elsewhere. They used 5 ultimates in that fight, and none of those are going to be coming back very quickly. Meanwhile, Team Gigantti have Davin with the Graviton Surge ready to give everyone on 1 point the group hug treatment.
Oh yes, they are. And RCK, we know he's famous for his self-destructs. Can he make this one stick, and can they take that point back? As the grab, RCK launches it straight down the middle. How many can he get? Only one, but Frost is going to fall as well. Take that 2, in fact, as the mech does fall as well. Ripper is just going to finish the last member off, and that will be Gigantti winning that team fight. We're talking about this series, and not this, even this series, just today in general. In this meta, it's just 6 people running each other, clicking Q, and see who comes out on top.
Yeah, they're basically playing Conkers, but in Overwatch.
2 massive balls of mass just swinging into each other, hoping the other one falls off their string.
2 meaty ball boys. And now Fat, he has the sound barrier still. He didn't use it in that last fight. Of course, he wants to try and combine it with a more cohesive push coming through from 1 point, but Gigantti are going to try and waylay that already, because Cloudy can always try and dodge his way past Mozasa and get down that Earth Shatter.
And Shatter is very close to his rally as well. There is the Coalescence. The hammer does strike the 4. LH Cloudy is going to find himself going down as well.
Down.
Huge shatter by Mozasa, and picks up 3. The beat was enough to secure them the point as well. These fights are going so quickly. It's about 20% each time a fight has gone over. 40% now in the bank for Gigantti, 76 for 1 point.
You thought you shattered my team, but it was actually a trap to make you drop your guard. And then Mozasa coming down from the sky, the Heavenwood blade laid down into the ground, and the Earth Shatter struck true. But now, Massa, once again, we talk about sound barriers. He's going to be able to make sure the Gigantti are far more resilient in the face of damage. And
here they
comes
go
Graviton.
again. Graviton only hits LH Cloudy, the rally and the sound barrier. That's a lot of stacking HP. They are going to isolate Mozasa. That's a solo shatter on LH Cloudy, but he's kept alive by Ripper. They're going to be able to push onto the point here, but LH Cloudy needs to rejoin his team. Self-destruct from RCK, 1 point end up scattering, and actually a Transcendence is forced out by 1 point as well. So they're going to have to move forward with that and make good use of it. Graviton Surge on the other side of the pillar, so it's not eaten, and a Coalescence now coming through from Team Gigantti. They're still swinging high, no one's fallen just yet. However, David does finally kill Frost off, and this is the momentum shift they were looking for. Overtime is there, and they are still fighting it out. They are just making sure they crunch Gigantti up, just making every ultimate usage painful. Massa is going to find the final kill, a team kill in the end for Gigantti, and they managed to flip it around.
Well, Gigantti Gigantti may well have been crunching 1Point, but 1Point were crunching the numbers. They only need to win one fight to claim the Gardens, and they almost have the ultimates to do it. They are close to 3 support ultimates. Frost is 30% away from the Graviton Surge, and Bruceson has the self-destruct available. But Team Gigantti, they know how to hold fast in the face of danger, which is going to be coming at them very quickly from 1Point. They're ready to try and make yet another entrance.
Scaler is trying to get a few pickoffs to start off. He has Transcendence. Fat has that sound barrier. However, are they going to be able to use it? That Flame Strike is going to get eaten. There is the speed boost. Nice dodge coming through from LH Cloudy. There is the Shatter, not quite finding the Transcendence and getting the Archer. That's a lot of support ults as well. The Graviton Surge is going to keep them all in place, but doesn't quite find anything. Malzassa blocking that self-destruct, but another Graviton Surge is going to come out, but it gets completely denied. 1Point is still on the point, fighting for their lives. Davin this time is the first to fall. The Zarya battle is won by Frost this time, and that is Scaler taking out RCK and his own mech. 93% to 99 now. Gigantti are forced off the point, and Scaler claims yet another life. LH Cloudy is going to go down in the end. They finally end up capping it, and it's all Gigantti having to touch. Davin has even jumped over to the Tracer, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough.
Maybe a signature hero, but there's 150 HP up against a world of hurt coming through from 1Point.
They are going to send that Lucio speeding in as well. Frost is going fairly low, but he's still got that armor underneath the shields, making them extremely tough to take down. Massa ends up going down, just contesting the point, and Malzassa's going to find RCK. His 5th tick, I don't know how many shatters he's had, but he lays another one on the floor. Bruceson is going to take out LA's Cloudy, and Bruceson even finds a self-destruct kill onto Davin. Back and forth, like you said, Harry, a game of conkers in the end, but this time around, 1Point came up front.
And you can see why, for such a long time, Malzassa was considered a top-tier tank, and some people questioned why wasn't this man picked up for the inaugural season of Overwatch League? Why is he not in Contenders? He's a little bit quiet, picked up for some coaching roles instead, but he's showing that he still has the stuff. He can go toe-to-toe with LH Cloudy, one of our premier Reinhardts, not just in Europe, but in the world, because Europe, it breeds the best Reinhardts.
Oh, yes, it does. You want to just slip that one in there? Reinhardt main, by the way.
Man. We won the Atlantic Showdown.
That is true.
Never
That's
forget.
very true. Never forgetty. Now 1Point, they're going to roll out. Still on the red side. We'll see if they want to stick with this comp. Horthick actually jumping over to the Widowmaker. Frost on the Tracer. They're going to use that speed boost out the gate to make sure they get primary position. LH Cloudy, classic Reinhardt. They're going to go for a, looks like a 3-3 again.
But of course, with Shadow here on Brigitte, it's going to be very hard for Frost to get into any effective range of this Trace. You've got to be within 10 meters, otherwise you start suffering from damage drop-off on the pulse pistols, and the spread's so wide you can't connect your whole clip anyway, unless you're incredibly lucky. So here, at 1Point, they're going to be very nervous about moving in. Bruceson swapped over now onto a 3rd DPS, and Horthick and Frost are now on double snipers.
Okay, 3-3 versus the triple DPS. Bruceson's going to have a very easy time, like we've seen many Faras before, build up ult fairly quickly. Horthick is going to have a little bit more of a tough job. He's got a lot of barriers and a lot of shields to go through as well.
But of course, that means Scaler is the only healing available for 1Point's main ground force here as they try and move in. They've got to try and take these quickly, and that's exactly what they needed. RCK's mech is down.
Does mean Frost can now freely just fire in. Nothing can get eaten, but Scaler's already dead, so now Fat has to concentrate on the front line. He is getting damage boosted, and they are going to actually control the point here. LH Cloudy's going to find the kill onto Horthick, and an early barrage here from Bruceson actually is going to take down Davin. Shadow is going to find the return kill, and even Massa, hang on a minute, he managed to take out a Mercy. Don't know how that works, but hey, managed to work out for him. 1Point end up almost capping, but Gigantti holds strong.
Hey, talk about Massa taking out a Mercy. Let's talk about Team Gigantti and how everyone on this team is able to pop off. You can't just focus one target on Gigantti, because if you leave LH Cloudy free, if you leave Ripper free, if you leave Davin or Shadow, even Massa or RCK free, they will all have the capacity to just go and beat up a team who isn't suspecting them in the back. And now 1Point, they still haven't got control. 60% thus far for Team Gigantti.
Triple projectile. Double Dragons are going to come out. Same with the sound barrier to protect Gigantti. Not enough to kill, help Davin, however, as Frost does end up claiming his life. Horthick now is just going to fire into the point. He's going to build up that Riptide fairly quickly. Again, very tanky comp, and Frost is doing a good job of turning them all into spaghetti. LH Cloudy is going to pay the price as Horthick does find that Satchel Charge kill. Even the kill onto Massa. So finally regaining control of the point. Going to waste a little bit more time here as RCK as he ends up going down last. But that triple DPS or triple projectile there, Harry, is working out wonders for them at the moment. And they've
even got 3 ults online. Frost has another dragon.
They may have 3 ultimates, Jaws, but there's only one that may matter going into this next fight, and that's Davin with the Graviton Surge. We've seen so many fights today, and in all of Contender Season 2, dictated by how the Graviton Surge is laid down by the respective Zaryas. Here comes the speed boost from Master.
There's the speed boost. The dragons are coming out as well. Horthix, Riptire finds Davin. Oh, he was trying to take it out, but it was just desperation at the end of it all. Nerves of Steel were on that tire, mostly made of steel as well. Scalar is going to take out Shadow, and they're going to be able to control the point. Malzasa's now moving forwards, just creating a lot of space with that bubble, and the zone control from him is so good, protecting his supports at the back. They're going to be able to hold the point for now. 85%, however, for Team Gigantti, and they are still holding on to their grab.
Mate, Joss, we've got to have a quick talk about your mechanic who's selling you tires of steel.
I mean, oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah,
mostly they're made of rubber.
Maybe the inside of it, I don't know. Anyway, Malzasa's going to go down. Bruce ends up sacrificing himself. The Graviton finally comes out. Self-destruct right in the middle of it all. RCK gets a triple kill. This boy is amazing when it comes to D.Va and just the self-destruct in general. The mechanics of this lad is just absolutely stupendous. Davin is going to take out Fat and even Scalar. Now 90% on the clock. One point, they're going to have to make a very decisive push.
Not only that, but they need to swap over their supports. Fat's moving over to Velucio to speed boost everyone back. He's going to have to wait for Scalar. Malzasa's in, but he's being pushed away by the whole hog of Shadow.
Is extremely low, gets a nice boon of HP, and Brucen's already going to go down. Frost is on the Tracer, another key hero for him, but can he make anything work? Horthix just gets advanced on and just gets killed almost. Satchel Charge out the way to get out of danger, although he's not going to be in the fight for much longer. The overtime is still ticking on as 99% to 59. Shadow claims another life and it's all onto Horthix now. He needs to make something work, but that sound barrier is going to make it extremely hard for him. Same with that Coalescence. He had the tire at the end, but it wasn't built up quite quick enough. And a victory shatter to end it all. We're going on to the third map of Leisure.
Well, Gigantti will not go away quietly. They may well have had a little bit of an upset straight out the gate, but warmed up they are. And now we are seeing Gigantti, a full force, up against a surprisingly contentious 1.0. I mean, Dez expected it, so small clap for him. A golf clap for...
A golf clap?
Yeah, a golf clap for Dez, who I imagine was grinning so much after that night market.
I can imagine him now like, yes,
I'm going to show you all.
I'm going to show you all what 1.0 had got. That's exactly what they're showing us now. And the variability in this team, too, is just fantastic. We know Frost is a DPS player and as a Tracer player mainly, but jumping onto this Zarya, especially dueling with someone like Davin, who's got such a pedigree about him, is just so wonderful to see from these new players.
Yeah, and we are seeing a more tank-like composition come out of 1.0. It is going to be the 3-3, and Malzasa once again swinging for the fences, but Cloudy's keeping pace. Look at these ultimate charges between the two Rhines.
Honestly, it's hard to keep my eyes on Edge Cloudy and not look at Malzasa when it comes to the Reinhardt charge of the ultimate. However, it doesn't like Team Gigantti using that speed boost. Are going to get priority on that point. Edge Cloudy almost goes down. Shield bash coming in, stunning him up, freeing him from the shield for several moments. However, all the healing is going to be a little bit subdued from Gigantti for the time being as that Coalescence came out from 1.0, but one to actually match here. LH Cloudy now just trying to break that shield. He's got that shadow. He's forced into the corner, however. He needs to make this work as this rally's going to stack up for 1.0.
Malzasa, his shield is so low. He needs to be aware of where Cloudy is, and you can see that he's got the focus. He's drawn it first.
He blocked the shadow, and the Graviton Surge landed as well. Team Gigantti are now pinning 1.0 to this central column, and RCK finds another. Fat is going to go down as well as his mech, and they still have ultimates to work with. They're not going to need them because the rest of the team is in shambles. 1.0's going all the way back to spawn, and a long team fight does result in Gigantti taking the point.
I'm in awe of the nerves of steel on LH Cloudy there. He not only blocked Malzasa's shadow, but he kept his own. Davin and RCK used their ultimates before the Earth Shadow, that I think was the first ultimate available on the field. They've got it before Ripper's got Coalescence. It's insane.
How does he do it? I don't know. It's like one of those...
That's
rubbish
a lot of
YouTube
damage.
thumbnails. How does he do it? I don't know. Sound barrier comes out. There's the shadow on the floor. Doesn't quite find the self-destruct heal, however. Ripper is going to release the Coalescence, and that rally is going to help 1.0 stay alive, or Gigantti even stay alive, I should say. But RCK, they're just chasing them down now. They're just playing with their food. Shadow just marching forward with the power of 10,000 horses, just running towards them, making sure 1.0 are paying for every moment and every step
they are walking onto that point.
I'm harping on Reinhardt a lot, but I've got to talk about it here as well. Team Gigantti consistently using that combo of the Graviton Surge and the Diva Bomb, but it didn't work for One.PoinT because Cloudy, he shadowed Malzahsa as he charged in. He made sure that the shield couldn't be removed and he remained protected from Bruce's self-destruct.
Well, look at the ultimate charge and the ultimate bank now for Gigantti. They have that Graviton Surge available again and that self-destruct. He's going to launch it straight up into the sky. They can't quite see it, and RCK finds his second triple kill of the series with the bomb. Oh my goodness, and a happy new year to you, RCK. They're going to send that one straight back to spawn. That was a bit cruel though. Scaler caught between a barrier and an RCK, and he ended up taking RCK.
Yeah, they decided to send him back to spawn. He was trying to go anyway, but you work on Gigantti's schedule on Control Center, and now One.PoinT, they're going to be trying to set the schedule themselves. They've got 4 ultimates available. Frost is moving in on a 5th, and Team Gigantti don't have much to deal with it. It's all about Cloudy and a Nerf Shadow that are trying to make this work.
Rally from Horthig, sending them straight in. Scaler's chunky, Frost is chunky, everybody's chunky on the side of One.PoinT. He's going to raise the volume, beat up that beat. He's got the sound barrier as well. Shadow hits the floor, but the Transcendence is there to actually help them out. Fast still trying to do a lot of work, trying to boop LH Cloudy into the rest of his team to receive a ton of damage, and that's exactly what he does receive. Horthig ends up securing his life, but the problem is One.PoinT still need to take the point. They're in overtime, but it's only a fraction there before they actually go for the big cap. Frost has that Graviton, but is holding onto it very patiently as they know the fight is won.
What would win? 1 Cloudy Shatter or 6 Chunky Boys? In this case, it was indeed the Chunky Boys, but now we're going to see Graviton versus Graviton. Davin, over the course of that fight, built up so much energy, was just trying to farm it off Bruce, who doesn't have any defense from that Zarya right click and just gets burnt down and traded for ult charge. And now Team Gigantti, they only need to win 1 point, or rather 1 fight here, to claim Lijiang Tower.
Will they do it, and will they wait for RCK self-destruct? I don't know. To One.PoinT, definitely don't want to make sure of that. Self-destruct is going to destroy the shield. However, 2 rallies are going to make everybody almost immortal in this upcoming fight. No coalescences just yet, but Ripper is working towards it, and Davin has that self-destruct. Is whether he wants to use it right away. They are very good at staggering their ultimates here, Harry, and that's exactly what they've been doing. A Transcendence for One.PoinT, but RCK launches the self-destruct. The shield was there just to save them in time, but Brucian is going to go down. Malzahsa, though, returning the favor, and Shatter is going to fall as well. Another fantastic Shatter from Malzahsa. This guy is an absolute monster, contending with LH Cloudy, who's long and gone and dead. One.PoinT still pushing forward as they are able to just charge Gigantti right back to their own spawn points. Scaler is going to go down, but it is their team fight win still.
So many micro plays that we need to talk about when it comes to these combinations of the Graviton and the self-destruct. I talked about how before Cloudy saved it by using the Earth Shadow. This time, they made sure they used Master to boot Malzahsa into their midst, so that when One.PoinT came out with that combination, they couldn't get rid of Cloudy's shield. And this time they tried to do the backup, get Shadow to shield bash him instead, but that also didn't work. There's so much counterplay here, so many mind games.
Point in contention. Frost has that Graviton Surge available. He sticks it to the pillar once again, but it's only LH Cloudy. He was the one stepping forward. He's going extremely low. A pin from Malzahsa. He was there just defenseless. Overtime now is going to be in session very soon, Harry. 90% to 99, and Frost finds another kill. This could be all One.PoinT need. Gigantti might just fall right here, right now. Another kill for Frost as RCK goes down. A rally and a sound barrier to finish off the fight. They're just chasing, corralling Gigantti into this tight corridor with that self-destruct. One.PoinT still looking to take the Season 2 or Season 1 finalists to a 3rd map. RCK and Malzahsa now having a 1v1 as he does jump onto the Doomfist. Another Graviton Surge come through, but it gets completely denied by Brucean. RCK finds another kill. How is he doing this? Another kill onto Horthig as well from Davin. He's getting sent straight up into the air, and Davin finds the Mecha Brucean. Gigantti might have just done it. They end up clutching it out in the end with the RCK Doomfist.
The man's a magician, he's a Houdini, and he just made One.PoinT disappear. They were so close to claiming a map against Gigantti, but no dice. RCK has a Doomfist, and the Doomfist has a message, and the message is get out. This is my point.
How did he get to point so quickly as well? I didn't even see him change over to the Doomfist until the kills came through on the kill feed. RCK just master of everything apparently. Farah, the Diva Bombs, Doomfist, literally anything you put this guy on, he's going to perform.
Daned, Leaf. We expected big Doomfist plays, but RCK comes out with it. Yeah, it's just give it to the off-tank. The off-tank will do it fine.
He's good at it. He's good at self-destructs. I'm sure he's good at Doomfist as well, laying down the destruction, which is exactly what he did. He managed to take out 2 members right at the very end. One.PoinT looked like they had that at the very last moments. They almost had a complete team wipe on Gigantti, but it was all said and done. It is Gigantti's map.
It is Gigantti's map, and that was That was just such a mess at the end. I wasn't even sure where it was going, so you're going to need a little bit of a break. We'll see you in a couple.
Welcome back, everybody. We just saw Gigantti and One.PoinT fight out on Control Center for about 15 minutes at the end there, it felt like. I don't know what RCK is. Is he a man? Is he a cyborg ninja like Genji? Like, who is this? Like, what?
I think he's actually a builder, because I think that entire last 30 seconds, he was just erecting a billboard to Overwatch League teams like, look at what I can do.
By the way, have you seen my hero pool?
Have you seen my everything?
Yeah. It's two 3-man self-destructs. Pops on the Doomfist as well to actually clutch out the final
The most
point.
clutch I've seen in Contenders.
Oh my goodness. Iconvolt is going to be the next map, however. It was One.PoinT's choosing.
And you got to live up to.
They have. I mean, that game. If this next one, I can imagine the rest of the games are going to be just like that, because that was a slugfest and a half. But Gigantti, this is actually the one map they lost out to Eagle last week.
Yeah, this was where Gigantti showed a couple of cracks in the armor, and let's hope that they're not flustered, because while we were casting, a little bit of flustering came over myself at least, because that was just such an impressive game. One.PoinT, they are definitely bringing it. These guys, they're not the new kids on the block. They are now just esteemed veterans. They're already showing so much skill, and Malzahsa, we've got to talk about the leader, man, going toe-to-toe with Cloudy. I would probably win myself with fear.
That's what I mean. There's one way to put it, sure. Okay, well, he was pretty good. He was going toe-to-toe. He was going swing for swing as well. He was actually building his ult a little bit quicker in some of those fights as well against LH Cloudy, who, in Season 1 specifically, they get to the point first. LH Cloudy always has Shatter. No one knows why or how he got it. He just has it.
Yeah.
Be careful. Malzahsa's fine with that. He's like, okay, because I'm going to build my ult quicker than you. And on Garden specifically, it was just inevitable that Malzahsa was going to be able to do that. The amount of mobility and speed they were able to run at that point, just swinging for the fences, and with the Reinhardt change as well, with that first swing being a lot quicker, Malzahsa just had almost complete control, especially at the start of the game.
Yeah, but let's talk about the style, which we may well see from One.PoinT, because it seems like when they're bringing out these more tank-based compositions, when they're going toe-to-toe with the bread and butter of Gigantti, that's when they're really doing their best. And at the moment, we did see an inkling of success from the triple projectile DPS, but it didn't last. And I feel like if you're going up against Gigantti and you find a rhythm that works, you can try and exploit that. That's exactly what Eagle did on Iconvolt as well. They just threw tanks at Gigantti until they couldn't do anything more.
Those projectile
heroes have been working out for them thus far. And RCK specifically on this Pharah has just been doing a fantastic job. We'll see if One.PoinT are going to do that, because they've got some star DPS players on their lineup as well. We just spoke about Horthic and Frost, and I want to speak about them again, because Frost is a very good Tracer player, and we've seen Horthic do absolute wonders as well on projectile DPS. And I think that's maybe something you have to think about as well. It's very hard to go toe-to-toe against Gigantti, especially when you're running into LH Cloudy. Malzahsa, as soon as he controls the pace of the game, that coaching and that leadership can come into play, and he can then dictate the rest of his team what they need to do and how they're going to control the rest of the fight. Because as soon as one kill went over to them, they were able to just run away with it.
Yeah, One.PoinT potentially being fed by the emotions of Malzahsa, who's got that leadership aura fully buffed up. But of course, you talked about Frost as a Tracer, but when we talk Tracers in Europe, what name is more prolific than Davin? The man's been on Tracer for so many seasons now, and it doesn't like Frost is going to go mano a mano with the Time Demon duel. And I don't envy him moving forward.
Neither do I, to be honest with you. Not sure many people can stand up to Davin.
Oh, okay, that'll be a good start.
Well, that is a damage-boosted rocket to the chest of Frost, and he's going to go straight back to spawn. Okay, One.PoinT now, they are trying to look for a little something, or however, they're going to have to just wait a little bit longer because Frost is just trailing behind. Gigantti obviously on the defense first up, and it will be One.PoinT on the offense. And now Horthic is going to be able to use this clock tower, but he is dueling with RCK.
Yeah, RCK and Horthic here both have the potential to be very aggressive as they move around this clock tower, but they need to be mindful that as they do that, they move into the sightlines of the enemies and Yatas, who can always throw up Discord orbs and orbs of destruction to try and help out in those duels. Yeah,
those orbs of destruction could be quite dangerous as well, because if you just ding a headshot, that's a whole lot of damage. Your Mercy is going to be under a lot of pressure then, and as soon as you damage that Pharah, you know the Mercy is going to have to be trained on it for a fair while, which could lead to another dive, or an initial dive. Speaking of dives though, Frost is going to find the kill onto Ripper. Pretty big to start us off with, in fact. Mass is going to go down as well. All right, Frost now taking control of this game with a 3K, and Scalar's even going to find Davin, so One.PoinT, they're on the point.
Look at how far Malzahsa decided to just stay in there on the corpse of Ripper. He knew that Massa wanted to go in for that res, but he ensured it was denied. When he went in for the Guardian Angel, he was there, laying down the damage already. You can't get the res off here. We are taking this point, and 5 minutes and 10 seconds is a pretty steep time back for Eichenwald. And we talk about it every time, Jaws. Eichenwald's second point. It's about verticality. Shatter is on the Hanzo. He can move between these planes of verticality incredibly easier. It's not going to be as easy for Davin, who's on the Tracer, has more lateral mobility.
And what's quite exciting as well, especially about the Hanzo being recently updated and changed, removing the scatter out of the Storm Arrow, is that projectile speed has been increased. He is now like a mid-range hit scan per se, and especially when it comes to short range is definitely the case. And that Pharah, if she does get too close, she will get dinged, and even double dinged as well if you're not careful, is that Storm Arrow can come out rather quickly. 8-second cooldown, remember. However, Scalar going down first of all won't leave One.PoinT to be in a very nice position at all. And even Brucean looting his mech is going to set them up for failure for this first push. However, Scalar getting res is going to make sure their downtime isn't so much.
I don't like that res throw onto Scalar, given that Malzahsa was down. I think it would have been safer to make a disengagement. And, oh, speaking of safety, Horthic is not going to be affording any to Davin, who's forced to Scarpa from that barrage. I wonder if we're going to see Horthic swap over, but apparently not. He just wanted to use the barrage in a safe position, maybe get an early pick-off, and there's the swap.
He's like, he was
question marks, man.
Yeah, I mean, he was that just frustrated with Davin in the back.
I'm done with you.
I'm done with you. I'm a solo ult you on our side of the map. He is going for the swap though, like you just said. He is going to go onto that Hanzo.
Indeed, he's going to have to duel here with Shadow, and Shadow's already got that Dragon ready to go, but no Graviton Surge to combine it with. Both of these teams are, of course, using dive tanks, and now they're trying to go up against Frost, who's laid out that Pulse Bomb, but to no avail.
Yeah, Shadow did give him the palm, but didn't quite find the kill. Transcendence, though, from One.PoinT. That's going to be pretty big, considering we've got Dragons on the way. Speaking of Dragons, that's exactly where they're going to land. On the cart, and RCK finds another kill with a self-destruct. This man, I want to see some statistics at some point. How many self-destruct kills he gets versus how many kills he gets as a normal diva. It seems like 50-50 right now.
50-50. I'm not sure that's the stat you want.
50. I mean, well, no. But like, he gets a lot of self-destruct kills, Harry, is what I'm trying to say.
That's exactly what you mean, and I couldn't agree more, Jaws. RCK, I'm sure his Winston Lab stats are absolutely impeccable. But speaking of things that are going to be impeccable, Team Gigantti in their support line. They've got both support ultimates ready, but Cloudy isn't going to be benefiting from either of them.
LH Cloudy, he was so low, he was mid-jump, he got sent to half HP through Horthic and a Discord Orb, just landing him straight in the bubble. You can see his panic there. He's like, Oh god! Press S here, trying to get back. Even put the bubble down to get out to safety, but with him going down, 1Point are now taking 2-3 members with them. Shadow's going to fall as well. Holt climbing to safety. Not going to stagger the D.Va. She's going to be able to contest the cart, but at least a little bit more time. LH Cloudy is still buying for it, as Brucean does end up taking him out.
Yeah, you can tell that Gigantti called that fight as a loss, as Ripper just threw his Omnic body onto the cart and got traded in for spare parts by 1Point, who have a pretty considerable ult bank ready for the next fight. We've got 3 ready to go, and Scalar's moving in on a 4th, and here comes the first trying to lock down 1Point of ingress.
Yeah, they're going to lock down the second turret of that castle.
I don't like it.
Stick. Oh,
I like that though.
Whoa, that was close. Shadow almost took out Frost there. The dash forward to try and get the return kill. However, Frost is going to find him. Master actually does get the resurrection in amongst that Transcendence, but the problem is LH Cloud is going to go down again. RCK gets instantly DMEC 2 as Horthic is just going to be able to clean up the rest of the fight. Shadow is going to find some comeuppance in the Frost kill. However, it's just going to give him a little bit of ult charge, nothing more really. And that is a very rough space to be in if you're Zenyatta.
And now he's going back onto Shadow. Shadow's alone on the bridge, can't shield that Tesla coil, and Brucen's going to pick him up from the back. 1Point, despite a shaky fight there, will secure the second point and move into third with about 2 minutes and 50 in the time bank, which is pretty respectable. You get the extra 1 minute 30, of course, from the capture. And Team Gigantti are looking pretty bare in terms of ultimates. Sure, they got the self-destruct, and RCK can do a lot with those. I want to see it combined with Cloudy's Primal Ray to try and force positioning into this self-destruct and get as much value as possible from that ultimate.
And if you do use that Primal Rage to actually knock Malzahar away, that's exactly what you want to do. He wants to do it, and he does! Malzahar gets pooped up in the air. Frost goes down, and followed by Malzahar. Horthic's going to fall as well. I love when predictions come true, and that's exactly what just happened. I hope he uses Primal Rage and self-destruct. Bam, there you have it.
They make us look very smart. Nerdy emoji is being used. And Cloudy now going to swap over to the Reinhardt. It's going to go toe-to-toe with Malzahar. We're getting flashbacks here, ladies and gentlemen, to Lijiang Tower. But there's a key difference. Brucen still on that D.Va as RCK. He's moved over to the Zaya.
RCK is going to be able to build up charge rather quickly as well. Another self-destruct gets lobbed in, and actually Davin is going to go down here. So 1Point are going to march forward. They're going to boot that Transcendence away, but it wasn't quite enough. Those Dragons are going to split the rest of the team up, however, and LH Cloudy is extremely low. But RCK just playing on top of the cart and dicing with Death, really, and Death is actually what he found. Same with LH Cloudy. They're going to move forward, and 1Point just doing a fantastic job of isolating every single member of Gigantti and just subjecting them to death one by one by one.
Oh, what a beautiful trade there. One bouncing bomb for another, but only one resurrection will come through. That's onto Frost, but Davin need not worry. He spawns incredibly close. 1 minute and 15 seconds remain, and now Davin's going to be sending out Riptire from the spawn. Meanwhile, Frost's going to send one out from the back. There's going to be a clash of tires in our future. It's Mad Max Fury Road all over again.
I was going to make a Beyblade reference, but we'll go with that one. Frost, though, has turned out a little bit better. Ripper and RCK end up fighting the dust, and Malzahar ends up pinning and killing Cloudy at the end of it. They have got that Valkyrie online, but is it going to be enough? I'm not sure it is. Davin's on the side, but he's not receiving any heals, just trying to trap up the D.Va and buy some more time, but it's too little too late. They are able to complete the map in very, very good time. 1Point, you can see why they picked this one. Gigantti did end up losing this one to Legal in week number 1. Maybe some cracks in the armor.
Good research coming through here from the backroom staff of 1Point. What's good, their manager, and Casores, a former Contenders player, their coach. He played against Gigantti, I imagine, a couple of times in scrims and tried to figure them out a little bit, and maybe that's coming to bear here as they realize, hey, let's just go to Eichenwald, because our Eichenwald is incredibly impressive.
Well, 49 seconds in the time bank. Not a wealth of time, but it was fairly decisive. A lot of these fights did go fairly quickly in 1Point's way, and we mentioned it at the start of this game, and in fact the start of this series. If they are able to actually get one kill, like we saw on Lijiang Tower, it's very easy for them to just push forward, press W, and wipe the rest of Gigantti. Gigantti are normally one of these teams that can fight 3v5. We've seen that happen before, and it's just not possible, it seems, against 1Point. The overwhelming pressure, not only from the DPS, but from the tanks, and the leadership of Malzahar is just too good.
Yeah, let's get specific with that 3v5. It occurred on King's Row versus Eagle Gaming, and under pressure, Gigantti can perform. And we saw that on Lijiang Tower as well. They were under so much pressure. And yeah, RCK is like, okay, guys, I've got my plan. You guys just do what you're doing on the point, and I'll try and make this work. Under pressure, they flourish. But now, the pressure has been added onto, because, of course, 1Point just got a full completion on Eichenwald. And now, you need to match that. Ideally, you need to do better. And we'll have to see what's in the bag of tricks here for Gigantti to make that a reality.
Question is,
are they going to actually stick on this comp? Because Shadow is going to go on this Pharah again, and Ripper on this Lucio. That's a lot of AoE healing, and Davin's going to receive a little bit of that, but he's going to be this lone tracer. And we know him for that also. He's very, very good at just not taking any resources and doing actually a lot with a whole lot of nothing, which is fantastic for a tracer player because you can survive on your own. That recall is such a powerful ability.
Yeah, my name for Davin in the Season 1 was for Skirmishers. It didn't really require much, but let's talk about what we're seeing here from Team Gigantti. We've got two main healers. Ripper showing off a new hero in his repertoire with the Lucio. This is going to be new for him, and of course Master's still on the Mercy, but Master's already under huge pressure, and so is Scalar.
Oh, no, Scalar gets jumped on instantly and punished for it as well. That positioning is so safe, but not when you've got Davin in your midst. Ripper's going to go down, which means Davin, in fact, the tanks on the floor for Gigantti are going to receive a whole lot of help from that Mercy because she is there pocketing Shadow. However, control of the point is very much in their favor, and Shadow apparently doesn't even need any help in the air, as he does manage to take 3 kills for himself.
Jaws, we're going to sound like a broken record here, but you said it before. 1 kill is all that they need, and that's why they had Ripper there on the Lucio. They don't need the sustained orb of discord damage coming out, although they will swap to it now. They just had to move forward. They had to get Davin into position. They had to make sure they were worried about Shadow in the sky and get 1 kill. That was Scalar. After that, he spawned so far back and you couldn't get back, but that point was lost.
LH Cloudy making a rather risky jump and actually finds himself dead, so he's...
Yeah, it's a zoning jump.
Alright, okay, I've seen your Winston, it's not that great.
Yeah. He's learning from the best.
Watching your VODs? Oh, God. Please no. Anyway, Gigantti's now going for, like I said, a quick reset as LH Cloudy is going to come back rather fast, like they said. The spawn points are very close, especially at this stage of the game. LH Cloudy making another jump, and a bomb actually is going to land on the stairs. What? RCK picks out Horthic and Fat in midair. I don't know what to say anymore. It's just unbelievable.
So Team Gigantti, Massa popped Valkyrie and instantly died, and I believe Shadow was dead as well. And RCK is just like, don't worry. You get one of these a map from me, and this is my gift to you, Finland. This is my gift to you, Gigantti. And well, RCK.
He's up here. He's opening a very, very delightful present from the 2-piece. It's actually going to force them all the way back to their spawn doors almost. Oh, very careful. Horthic can't be staying too close to that castle. Shadow will kill him with a splash damage. I think it's Cloudy though, finding a kill onto Scalar, and that'll be Shadow now building up towards that.
Damage boost and Discord orb, by the way.
That was a flick and a half. Ripper actually takes the kill credit in the end. There is the rocket barrage. He tries to take out the Primal Raging Winston in midair, but it was all said and done after that kill onto the Mercy. They are going to be able to chase down Malzasa. Didn't quite get the health back, but a reset would have been a lot quicker. However, they are going to still be able to stall this point out. Question is for how long? Not very, says Team Gigantti. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in that time bank. That's going to result in 5 minutes for this next push. And Gigantti do what they do best here. They're actually going to switch up very quickly.
And we talked about how Team Gigantti can thrive under pressure, and look at the time bank they have available. They have 5 minutes to get through the 3rd point of Eichenwald. That's almost unprecedented speed that they're bringing out here. Maybe they've plastered over some weaknesses from their attack that we saw against Eagle, and here comes the self-destruct to try and waylay it.
Not quite an RCK self-destruct, and Horthic is going to go down. A Transcendence coming out from Ripper to save the rest of his team. Malzasa is trapped in a very, very tight corner, meaning he's just going to get cut where he stands. Davin is very high charged also. He's got to be pretty careful, although that mech isn't going to be a match for Shadow either, who has changed over to that Hanzo. 40% ult charge on both Davin and Shadow now, so they're going to be able to push this rather quickly. And as soon as they get that ult online, it's going to be bad news bears for 1 point.
RCK has reclaimed his mech, and he's reclaimed the self-destruct as well. We know just how deadly these can be. Fat's got the Valkyrie up, so that's a lot of healing available, but will they be able to sustain through the Gigantti onslaught?
They only get one, and RCK says that's all of it. He doesn't manage to find anybody with that self-destruct. Managed to find a kill on Bruce, and it is going to get swiftly rezzed, and Malzasa is going to find LH Cloudy. However, that gets rezzed as well. Shadow is on the rafters now, or in the rafters, I should say. And LH Cloudy, actually, I think he goes ult cancelled there. I'm not sure it's going to matter. However, a nice headshot from Shadow and a style points Dragons to meet their spawn. Team Gigantti with a 4-minute plus time bank on Eichenwald. Like you said a second ago, that is almost unprecedented. That is record time.
So, I talked about the coaching staff of 1.0, and now I'm going to talk about the coaching staff of Gigantti. Sater is phenomenal, just in a word, and Sater is like a national treasure for Finland when it comes to esports coaching. The man is a monster, and There's potential here that he may well have told Gigantti, give 1Point some hope. Only when they have been given the hope can we crush them utterly. And here on Eichenwald, that was a crushing attack.
Give them 1 minute exactly. They were like, all right, fam, we got this. And Gigantti did just that, and they got a 3 minute and 50. I called 4. It's 3 minute 59.
They've lost 1 second over the course of their attack.
Like, how do you even put that into words? Not only is Gigantti showing just fantastic ability to read 1Point, their ability to switch up is just incredible too. You saw as soon as they took that castle point, 3 members back. They knew they wanted Davin on that. On the Zaya, and they instantly knew they need Shatter on that Hanzo, because it is such a deadly combo. There's not really much right now that can stop it without a Barnet Grenade and a Transcendence, which happens oh so rarely. And Gigantti right now, it seemed like they were toying with their food, especially towards the end of it all. 1Point now on the attack, however. They've got 1 minute to go. They're going to have to make it quick.
Speaking of toying with food, Frost on that Tracer going to be looking like an absolute snack because he was so impressive on that first point attack last time. But a difference in style from Team Gigantti. They're not going to be using that speed boost to move in onto Ripper. Instead, they're going to be a little bit slower moving forward. They're going to have to burn mobility cooldowns to get there. And Frost's going to be weighing up his options as he throws in a couple of magazines.
You can see Frost now playing a very different... I say that. I was like, playing very differently. Rather passive, but Shadow ends up going down regardless. It looked like a complete solo kill. Ripper in a lot of trouble now as well. He is hit with the Discord Orb also. 30 HP, had to be extremely careful. Back to the health
Don't
pack.
blink him, those.
Shadow gets his revenge, blinked straight forward and took an arrow to the head. That'll be Scalar going down as well. 20 seconds remaining. They're going to have to touch the point. But
Oh my
look
golly
at that
gee.
aim.
That is
Shadow takes Horthick out of the air, and Ripper now on the run, and he punishes him too for going for that very risky res.
If we were in his stream, we'd be asking someone to clip that right now. Horthick going down. Shadow's a hit scan. He's anti-air. He's a flat cannon. He's a monster. And now 1Point are running out of time.
Frost is on the point trying to delay for that overtime. It is now burning down. The problem is they're trickling in 1-to-1. Arrow and a palm to the temple, and Frost goes down. Shadow finds himself another one. This boy's not any clutch. His aim right now is just unreal. RCK wants 1 kill at least and ends up getting it on Fat. And he does actually go down, but Shadow is going to find himself probably the 7th or 8th kill. I lost track.
Shadow, an arrow and a palm. You do not want this boy to throw hands because you will lose.
He is bit connecting everybody's heads with the arrows right now. That 1 minute time bank just deleted. 3 minutes 59 now. Gigantti have to connect only 1 check mark on that point.
And Malzahsa, we talked about his leadership already. It needs to be overcharged. It needs to be supercharged. It needs to be overclocked. Because they're going to need all the resilience in the galaxy to hold against Team Gigantti on Eichenwald first point for 3 minutes and 59 seconds and not give up 33.3% of the capture.
Recurring, of course.
Of course, recurring.
Of course.
We're a mathematically accurate casting pair, Jaws and I. We will never deceive you when it comes to numbers.
Except I'm pretty bad at math.
Yeah.
And I'm not great. I'm not speaking for you, but I'm pretty bad. However, 1Point are going to have to be pretty good at it, and they're going to have to be pretty good at defending, like you said. Rather, let's say, turtling comp right now. They want to make sure that Scalar is protected. Horthick actually changing off of the DPS, running that Brigitte now instead, giving Scalar a lot of additional assistance in the form of armor and the stuns on the Tracer, because they know Davin's going to run it.
Yeah, I agree. This is a really good idea for Horthick to just play bodyguard here to Scalar, because we saw with the speed boost that Ripper gives, they don't have to invest any movement cooldowns really to get onto Scalar, and that means that if they get into trouble, they can just back out and get healed up.
Well, there we go. Ripper's going with that speed boost, doing exactly the same plan. Rinse and repeat. Shadow, tunneling the front line. That's all he needs to do at this moment. Just build up for that 1 ult combo.
And he's laying down the rockets, not connecting yet though, and Malzahsa wants to challenge him in the air. The Space Monkey not quite getting what he wanted this time though, and Team Gigantti have decided they may well decide to want to swap this up. Cloudy over to the Reinhardt, Davin going to be joining him. Boots on the ground with the Zaya, and why not? You only need 1 good combination to finish off this map, and the Graviton will provide.
That was after 1 peek in and seeing Horthick as well. They changed their entire composition to make sure they could take this point rather concisely. RCK now challenging the high ground, just pushing a couple of people off, and Scalar is going to be that target. He is falling pretty low, but Horthick is already going to go down. Shadow is going to find the boot kill with the shield bash. Now Malzahsa's on the point, but he's got a very hard charge. Zaya chasing him down. The point capture's just so close. Diva gets demexed. I'm not sure they're going to be able to do it. Shadow takes out Bruce, and only a trickle of
of One.PoinT members now to actually just contest the point. Scaler is the last one to fall, and Team Gigantti find a match point in the series.
A more shaky start for the Finnish Titans, but on Eichenwald, they showed some true dominance with the time bank that they managed to get. And of course, the heads-up play that we saw, and we're like, okay, hard pass on Horthic's Brigitte, and of course, you cannot make a counter pick there because you have to go all the way back to spawn on the defense, and that's a long old walk on Eichenwald first.
Yeah, that was pretty scary. They instantly, as soon as they saw Horthic, they knew they couldn't assassinate Scaler. That armor provides way too much to a Zenyatta, not only additional HP, but armor as well, and there's Davin just couldn't do anything. Wholesale swap, bam, worked out for them very, very quickly. We're going to jump quickly to the analyst panel as well, and they're going to break down the game even more.